We were sitting in bed scrolling on TikTok, and we're scrolling. Megan Thee Stallion pops up with some guy, and Eva's like, "Isn't that Olivia's ex?" Welcome back to Three Girls, One Kitchen with your hosts, Lana,
Olivia,
Alexa.
Geez, it's been a long time. The last time we shot was almost 2 years ago. A lot has changed. If you've watched before, you know this podcast has primarily always been a dating show with a hint of self-improvement. So, to jump back in, I want to hear you ladies' craziest dating story that you've experienced over the past 2 years, and also what you learned from it. Because we always have to inspire our audience to grow and learn from our mistakes so they don't have to learn from their own.
Yeah, learn through us. You want to go first?
Yeah. Well, where do I start? Do I start the one where my ex is dating the Megan? Was it the Megan Stallion? What's her name?
Meg the Stallion.
Meg the Stallion. Megan. I'm just gonna call her Megan.
Who's
Megan?
Who is Meg?
I don't know. I just get my vowels like always mixed up.
It's okay.
So
She's from Russia.
Like, she's a foreigner.
So I saw this.
Yes.
Me and Eva, we were sitting in bed scrolling on TikTok, and we're scrolling. Meg the Stallion pops up with some guy, and Eva's like, "Isn't that Olivia's ex?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, his name's Tori, right?
Yep.
Not Tory Lanez, a different Tori."
Yeah, not that one.
Just imagine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I can't even get mad though, because it's like, damn, like that's kind of a flex, you know? Like
Yeah.
I can't even be mad at that at all because like
I just wonder what his type is, because you guys dated, then he was talking to other girls when he was talking to you, and like they all look
very
like
similar. Like
you
we all
guys.
looked, yeah.
So I'm just curious what his type is.
What I've learned in my 29 years, men don't have a type. They like whatever they like. It could be a wide range. Like, I truthfully don't know a man that is specifically like on point with one exact type, to be fair.
Honestly, anything goes for some.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even have an exact type, you know?
Mine's definitely not physical. It's a mental type.
Yeah, it's like your aura kind of vibe.
I feel like the last few guys that I've like gone on dates with have definitely like when they ask me like what is my type and then I ask them, they always say, "Oh, just pretty girls. Like I just like pretty girls."
That's what they say.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I've literally gone on 3 dates, and all 3 of those men all said the same thing. They said, "I just like a pretty girl."
I mean, at least they're being honest.
Yeah, shallow but honest.
Honest, yeah.
Do you think you guys' type has changed in the past 2 years?
Yeah, like I've always said my type is personality based, because if you think of like, if you look at people I've talked to, they don't look alike at all.
Same.
But I used to be going for like the wrong type of personality. Like they would put on a front and I would believe it. So now in the past 2 years, I've kind of been able to like weed out like who is like genuine and who's not, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I do think my type has changed, and like I'm having better luck these days.
Improvement.
Yeah, improvement
We
for
love
sure.
that. That's the direction we all want to go in.
Well, I was in a narcissistic, relationship twice.
We all have been. We've all been there.
Healing through my own trauma, I had to figure out like, okay, why am I constantly attracting those type of people?
To not attract that type of men anymore.
How?
And she goes, how?
Asking for a friend.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, same actually.
Literally, guys, this is all that you have to do, and you just don't get feelings for guys unless they do all of these things, which is why, like, did not go on a date with a man for a very long time. Like, you just have to have them put in maximum effort with every single thing from the beginning, and you don't take anything less, then you're not going to end up with people who aren't going to show up for you, and people who don't genuinely love you. Like, people who are love bombing you or don't actually care, they're not going to show up for you in every single way, and you literally just don't develop feelings or even give them a chance. Don't even go on a date with someone if they're not doing everything perfect from the beginning and showing the fuck up for you. That's how you avoid that.
Here were the red flags in the beginning that I should have noticed, were the fact that he was constantly overcompensating for how great of a person he was. And I thought that was weird. I was like, okay, like it's
what?
not that deep. Like I would say something or we would like misunderstand each other and he would say, well, I'm a great man and I deserve nothing but the best. Every woman I've ever been with knows how incredible I am and this and that. And I put in my 100% and I expect the same. And I'm just like, whoa, buddy, like it's not that deep. Like,
It's just
what-
defensive, like getting too
Defensive,
defensive.
He's
yeah,
definitely
defensive.
rehearsed that one in his head.
Yeah, very, very defensive. And also, yeah, like he would just constantly be offended or like get defensive with anything that I would say. And I was like, okay, that's a little alarming, but I'm just gonna like let it slide. Maybe he's just like insecure and maybe this is something he's working through. So it's fine. So that was the first red flag that I should have noticed. Then it was the whole belittling me and putting me down when we would not see eye to eye on things or when we would have arguments, because we're not perfect. I'm still healing too.
Yeah.
We're all gonna constantly be healing. So we had like a huge big fight where, you know, he was just so mean to me and would say very mean things like, no man is ever gonna wanna be with you, like you're such a shitty person, like you treat me like shit. And I mean, this person was like, he would say some of the most cruelest things to me, and I do not name call anymore because that's something I've healed from.
Yeah.
I don't raise my voice, I don't name call, I don't call you a piece of shit, like nothing. And this person was triggering things out of me that I have not felt since my
No, honestly,
last
I
3.5
think-
year relationship, which was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like that is very scary. And for him to do all of that, and then, you know, I was like, okay, we're done, like this isn't working out. He would
Which
just
I'm
keep,
proud of you for doing that, because I
Yeah.
know it's been hard for you to break off things in the past with people.
yeah, and like every time I would try to end it, he would like just keep going, and I'd be like, babe, it's okay, it's not working out, like it's fine.
Yeah.
And he would keep
Would
belittling
he get
me.
angrier and angrier?
Yeah.
He probably has like BPD or something.
Yeah, so it was just like things like that, you know, and then literally a couple days later, he would come back and apologize and tell me that he wants to be a better man and he's so sorry.
Yeah.
And then starts
That's-
throwing shade at me by saying like, oh, my little crazy girl, like, you know, you weren't acting right. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I wanted to end it because I'm confused. Like, if you're coming back to me to apologize, it's because you're in the wrong or you know what you did. So now you're trying to like mask the fact that you're quite literally a narcissist, and now you're making me feel guilty that I did something wrong. Like,
I think it's just like his ego as well. Like he wants you to validate that he's not in the wrong,
Yeah.
even though he is, just so he can feel better.
and he
about
wanted
himself.
to control me. He's a very controlling person.
Yeah,
Like
I
everything from like what I was wearing to like how I looked, how I talked, how I treated him. I was like, dude, we've only been seeing each other for a month.
Yeah, find someone else. Like at that point, like
Yeah.
if you're trying to change someone within a month of dating, like
Yeah.
start fresh.
Yeah.
And like something to like, neither of us are therapists or able to diagnose people, but that actually sounds a lot like BPD. And what sounds like was happening is that when you guys would get into conflicts, he was thinking that you were gonna leave him, and he would split. He would split
He
on
had
you.
that attachment issue and he talked
So
about it. Yeah.
so splitting is basically like you think someone's gonna leave you, and it's kind of hard to explain. But he might have had an extreme amount of love and care for you. But then in those moments when he thinks you're gonna leave, it's like
freaked out,
hardwired
yeah.
in your brain, because he probably has trauma, and I'm not making excuses for him, that makes his brain hate you in those seconds, and he
Yep.
can't feel the love anymore or anything good in your relationship. So it's really easy. He probably felt like you were a terrible person, like he was
Yeah,
saying,
and-
even though it's
yeah.
not true,
Yeah.
and spewed that out.
And
on
you guys know, obviously, for me, like, words are very important for me. So when
Yeah.
someone says a lot of mean things to me mentally, I'm not okay. Like, I was in
Yeah.
a very, very dark hole for a month. Like, my friends were actually concerned about me.
Yeah.
It was getting, like, abusive, like, verbally abusive. Like,
Yes,
I was
it is
seeing...
emotionally.
Yeah, I mean, like, he would, like,
No,
crush a
he-
can, and I was like, oh, okay.
It's
like,
something he needs to figure out on his own, and you made the right choice stepping away
it's
from
like he's
him.
got his own demons to fight, but we're
Yeah.
not healed. Like, he's not healed enough to where he can help me or
and you're
kind of
not
like...
in the position to talk him through or help him with
Exactly,
that.
exactly. I'm not there in my own journey to tolerate what he's doing and knowing that, you know, him
know how to
name
handle
calling,
him.
and know how
Yeah.
to handle him. Like, I'm not there yet. I'm still very sensitive and emotional, and I couldn't do it, but
I know 100% that I need to go to a therapist, and I still have so many things to work on. Otherwise, I will continually ruin every single relationship that I'm in. In the past, some things that you described that guy did, I've done things like
Yeah,
that. Like
and so have I. Like,
have a
I've done
lot
that, yeah.
of like abandonment issues and trauma that almost sometimes is uncontrollable, and I'm not proud of it, and it really, really sucks to have those issues.
that's so beautiful. See, self-awareness is the
Yeah, I
first
was
thing.
gonna
and-
say
Yeah,
the best step
you
is that
have
you're
to-
changing yourself. Like,
Yeah,
for
you
yourself.
like that's honestly like that to me. That's sexy. That's hot that you have self-awareness and you know like that's confidence. I would love to be with someone who can sit there and admittedly say like, hey, I have trauma. I have not fully healed, or I'm still working on this, and this is something I need to like work on. So just know, you know.
Yeah.
A message from our sponsor.
Work it, girl. Cover girl. Work it, girl.
Cover girl, strike a pose.
The one thing I want to say about my dress is that I kind of have a square waist, and this is making my torso look so elongated and skinny. Like, this is my dream bod, and the dress is doing it. This is not like what I usually look like. Like naked, this looks better than me naked. That's what you want clothes to do. Should we do a little fashion show?
It has like this little, what is this, like the tie in the back? But that's what, yeah, so it's like a corset tie, so it like literally snatched me, because at first when I put this on, I was like, oh, like it's cute, you know, whatever, because I don't have boobs. But when I like tucked it back, I was like, whoa.
Look amazing.
Vogue. Work it, girl. Beautiful, beautiful.
10 out of 10.
Yep, 9.8.
Link in description, guys. Outcast clothing right here in Los Angeles. Most flattering silhouettes
Really soft
I've seen,
material as
especially
well.
for such an affordable brand.
Feel this. Soft.
No, it snatches you. They're gonna come up. They're coming up. They're only like, they actually told me they're only 2 years old, but I've known them before I even got the clothes yesterday. I was like, oh, I've known about you guys. Like, I've seen your stuff on Instagram. Yeah. So like, it's kind of like a big brand. So I'm really like proud of the brand. They're kind of big.
Link in description. We are going to continue on with today's episode as planned, but don't stop admiring our outfits throughout the whole episode.
Or stare at Alexa's tits.
Alexa,
Yeah.
have you broken that? How long has your celibacy streak been now?
So I actually have broken it. I broke it last year. So I was at
Wait, you
like,
did?
Yeah. I was at like a little over 3 years.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's-
It really went there.
Oh my gosh. Wait, really? That long?
Yeah, it did.
Wow.
It kind of got to the point where I was just like, it didn't even faze me anymore.
Did you ever miss it? Or did you miss having like romantic relationship in your life? Because I also was celibate for 1.5 years recently.
But what do you count celibacy though? Because I know that there's
I was
different
only
ways.
kissing. That was it.
Okay,
The only
only
thing I did was
kissing.
kiss. Yeah.
No second
That's
base?
Me too.
I'm boring. Like, what's the
No
point?
third base?
Also, it's like once you start, how do you stop?
Yeah, I would.
That's true.
I would
yeah.
go through like streaks of like not missing any type of intimacy, like not even physical, but like romantic intimacy. Like I would be totally fine, and then randomly, like on a random Tuesday, I would have like a breakdown and start crying and feeling unloved. Do you ever go through that?
No, I went through that heavily, where like I wasn't craving the act of sex. I was craving just like having
to
someone
hold you.
cared about me that would like they kissed me like they meant it. Like I was craving the intimacy and the romance. And then I would start to be like, oh my God, why has it been so long since I've had that? Is it me? Like, and I would get really sad in my head and be really lonely.
Yeah.
But then I was just kind of reflecting, and it helped me realize that it wasn't me. It was the type of men I was going after at that time that weren't right for me. And that's why I wasn't feeling that like emotional connection and like the like safetyness of wanting to be intimate with them.
Yeah.
I also did the celibacy thing too for 8 months, and I broke it, obviously, you know, like a while
Obviously.
a while back. But I looked into that too, that, you know, celibacy is really good to just cleanse yourself spiritually and physically, because you're actually able to not get attached for the wrong reasons, which a lot of times it's like sexual desire, you know, lust. So when you're celibate, it actually helps you get rid of people that don't belong in your life much quicker.
Yeah, I noticed that like a lot of the times it would just be I thought I liked someone or had feelings for someone, but it was just because I had sex with them that I got attached to them. And
exactly,
so when I
yeah.
got rid of that, like I wasn't getting attached to these men that didn't deserve me because I wasn't having sex with them.
Yeah. I'm a little bit different where I can't have sex with someone unless I feel attached to them.
That's
like
how I am
I've
now,
realized
yeah.
I don't experience like physical attraction or like I'm not horny or like wanting to like just I can't even let anyone touch me, kiss me, anything unless I'm already obsessed in love. And kind of like you said, now you have to wait to feel that like that love and like they actually care about you before you do that. That's the place that I've sort of come into as well, and I feel completely asexual unless I experience that, which I found recently. So I recently broke 1.5 years of celibacy.
Yay.
It wasn't even like I was trying to be celibate though, like it wasn't a planned thing. It was just
Yeah.
no one piqued my fancy.
Same.
Yeah, that's
It
how
didn't
mine
have
was,
a
too.
Yeah, and then I was like,
connection.
just keep it going. Yeah, I was like, you know what?
I didn't even go on dates. Like I had no interest, and then this person just popped into my life unexpectedly.
That's
And that's how it
usually
always
how it works.
happens. Yeah.
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 Like, oh, yeah.
No, I'm the same now. Like, I don't even want to kiss. I used to, like, I'll admit it. I used to get drunk and I would kiss people, do whatever, but I don't even do that now. It's like better to build the friendship and like have that connection, and then even when you kiss, it's so much better. To where like I've only kissed 2 people in the last over a year and a half. Like it just doesn't mean as much as like when you know them and you know it's going to be good.
That's so true too, because it's funny that you talk about it, because I was someone who I would never sleep with people. I would only like make out with them for a very long time. Or like I would just like kiss. Time. Yeah, like you remember that? Like I would literally be like dating or seeing guys after, like months on end, and they'd be like, "Yo, like I'm sick of you not like putting out," and I'm like, "Sorry, I'm gonna wait," you know. But
and then what broke that barrier for you? Because then you did start to.
Yeah, and I did, because I was like, okay, well that's not working out, so maybe I should start sleeping with them. So then I also realized that like what you just said, the whole like kissing thing. Lately, I have finally just had my breaking point after like like my last unhinged relationship that I was with, or with a guy in, but I was like, you know what? I want to just not be interested in someone right off the bat. I want to build a friendship with them. I want to build a connection with them. And honestly, doing that now has actually helped me to not fall for someone so quickly, because I'm such a hopeless romantic, and then I realized that it's hard. You have to mentally like rewire your brain and train yourself to say, okay, as much as you desire or like want to be with this person, start off as a friend and even friend zone them. Literally, even friend zone them. Yeah. And I'm telling you, you will start to see everything on the surface level. You will start to see them for who they are, and you will actually eventually not even be attracted to them.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I don't know if I would want that, because I only get like a crush like once every 2 years, so I'm gonna hold on to that.
It's rare for me.
But I think that's really good advice for majority of people.
Or just take everything way slower than before. Like I'm used to, if I like someone, and I've also had an issue with like love bombing, like men love bombing me. So
That's been my whole like late 20s.
So I'm used to like men coming at me, wanting me to marry them and live with them within the first month. And so like when someone's interested in me now and they're not doing that, it's like kind of confusing. I've had issues, like I've been trying to get through it where I'm like, no, this is the right way. Like we're trying to get to know each other. We're taking it slow. Like they're not asking me to move in with them after 2 weeks. Like that's normal. So that's like the transition's kind of hard when you're used to one way.
And that's like a lot of it's
I've been experiencing that too with the person that I'm seeing now.
Like slowing down the process.
Yeah, like at first, like he did come in like pretty like hot, but he's and then like we had some things happen where it kind of like we slowed it down, but he's still like this has probably been like the healthiest relationship that I've been in. Like I've never felt like validation when there is an issue in the relationship, or like just like I'm sure you remember with Mike, like there's a lot of times where I feel unloved or uncared about, and this person, before they even knew that about me, because they love in a very similar way to me and feel very similar about a lot of things, they were like, if you ever need reassurance, just tell me, and I'm so happy to give it to you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
The issues that we have had, he's like, let's talk about it, and he'll sit and talk with me about stuff.
He
for
sounds
hours.
emotionally mature.
And I was gonna say, like,
I've never experienced this, and it's actually now a new requirement. Even if this doesn't work out, it's a new requirement that I'm gonna have going forward in other relationships.
and that's really nice to have too, because I think a lot of times people's problem tend to be is that no one is really a terrible person. It's more so like you need someone who's a little more healed than you are, or who's a little more patient to help
heal you.
Yeah, to help, not like necessarily help
They
heal you.
don't have to, but it is.
But they have to be healed to a certain extent and on a certain level, to where, because they can't bleed on you either, because if you're broken, you can't keep breaking your own glass too, you know, because it's only going to get sharper. So like they have to be on a certain level of their healing journey to where they can still help you, but also they're also healing as well. You know, you guys can kind of like heal together.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm happy that you're in that relationship, because I think like even with Mike, he is just not someone you should have been with, because you were going through a lot and you were still growing as well, and you had a lot on your plate that you weren't able to mentally handle what his lifestyle was, you know, and he didn't want to deal with that because he also parties and he has his own problems. So it's like you guys were just kind of both like bleeding on each other, you know?
Yeah, and it was just, he wasn't to that spot either where he was, like, our fights were always, like, if there's any type of issue, it doesn't get resolved in a calm way. It always would be a blow up.
And I remember a lot of the conversations you guys had, you know, where like he,
You were
because
there- you were there every
looking
day
now looking
seeing it.
back at this, because I just recently was with a narcissistic person, not to like throw shade on Mike, but now looking back, I know that he meant well, but he would belittle you a lot. And he would, the way that he would just want to fix you. And it's like, why are you with a girl that you're trying to fix? Then just don't be with her. You know?
I don't think it was that. Like, I definitely don't want to throw shade on him, but now that I look back at it from a mature standpoint, I think he just doesn't feel the best about himself. And I think in a lot of ways, without even like knowing that he was doing it, he wanted to bring me down a bit.
Yeah.
To make himself feel better.
Yeah, and men can be intimidated by a woman's success as well.
And like I love him to death. Like, we're still friends. Like, the other day I was having a panic attack and I called him and he talked me through it.
I ran
Like,
into him too.
yeah,
a while back.
and I ran into him on Halloween with his girlfriend. Lovely girl. No, I love
Yeah,
him.
she's hot. I'm like, props to you.
Yeah, he's a good friend still. But I definitely, looking back on that situation, it wasn't what either of us needed, and it was the situation that I'm in now, which is like, okay, like, this feels right.
Well,
you
like
know?
to touch base on what you were saying, the reassurance and stuff, and a
I've
lot
never-
of people.
I never knew that was an option.
Yeah, a
to
lot
get
of
that or
people
ask for
like
it.
sleep on this, but it's like a huge thing for me. It's like one of the first things I ask, love language. And I know it sounds silly, but you need to ask because some people might not realize like that they're not loving you the way you need to be loved because you don't have the same love language, you know? Like
just because you want something doesn't mean that
yeah,
that person,
and it's like you need the words of affirmation. You need like, I mean, we all do. I'm all 5. I've taken the test.
You're like, I'm all 5.
I'm all 5. I give all 5. I love all 5.
I even got a 6th one.
But a lot of men like are only going to be 1 or 2. So you got to make sure it's the top 2 that you need. And a lot of people have struggling relationships or like fail to love the way that they want to or should because they don't understand their partner's love language. So it seems like your new one understands your love language and like what you need in a relationship.
Well, it's just naturally his too, so it just
Yeah.
like clicks.
Yep, and that's also
like I don't have to ask; he's just already giving it.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's a perfect match because recently in the relationship that I was trying to be in, we had the love language issue, and he, would say like, well, that's your love, like, because he would ask me, what's my love language? And I would say, well, I love gift giving because that's the way that I was, raised, and that's just the way that I show love. You guys obviously know that too.
For my birthdays, you're the first person who ever like put balloons up for me or did anything for my birthday. Like
Yeah,
that.
so it's like
I started
acts of
crying.
Yeah,
service,
acts of
gift
service,
giving.
yeah.
So then he said, well, you're selfish because what makes you think that that's what I would want? And I would say, well, but that's my love language. Like, that's my way of showing you that I love you. But he was like, no, you need to show me my love language if you care about me.
I mean,
so
that
I was
is-
like, okay,
that
well
is
then.
true, but you
yeah,
both
But
that
there's
is
a way
true.
to go about. There's a nicer way to have that conversation,
Exactly.
and there's a more mature way to have that
Exactly.
conversation.
So
of, like,
it's
compromise.
that, but then it's also back to hers, is where she found a very compatible match because that is also the person's love language. Because
Yeah.
that's where it could be difficult. Because if someone strongly feels about, well, you should show me my love language, then
just-
we're not going to work out because I'm
Or
going to have
you
a hard time
guys-
doing that because
you
it's
guys-
new to
You
me.
guys just have to want things even more to be able to continually work on that.
exactly, and that takes time.
But
so.
it is harder because when I've had that with people, because mine, like you, I am all the love
All
languages on crack.
Yeah.
Like, I need to be attached to you. Like, I'm
She's like,
just
I need to live
loving-
inside your skin.
Yes, I'm loving on crack, and this person's very similar, so it like, I feel loved. But like, if you guys don't have the same love languages, it's hard to feel loved because they're showing it in a different way than you,
Yeah.
than what means love to you. And so it would just be a lot more work, and you guys would have to have compatibility on other levels to even be like, hey, like, this is the boat that I want to sit in and keep growing.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like the number one thing is, at least for us, we already are all 5. So like I give all 5, but I also want to receive all 5.
Yeah.
To where we have all the bases covered on whoever we're dating's love language because we're already going to be doing it.
Yeah.
But for those that like, I know the number one thing people struggle with would be like the communication. And that's like hard to force. Like, are you good with like, words of affirmation and stuff?
Like for someone else or taking
Yeah,
it?
like both.
I think both. Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like the hardest,
'Cause that's something I struggle
one to
with.
teach is words of affirmation.
Yeah, no, that's something I struggled with my whole life, growing up, like with my dynamic, with my family and stuff. Words of affirmation were not really a thing. So that's something that as I got older, I, said to myself, like, that is something that I'm going to practice and preach all the time because that's something that's really important to me.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I have to tone mine down sometimes because if I had it my way,
Yeah. Best person in the world. I can't wait to marry you.
yes, if I had it my way, I would be texting you all day. You're the hottest person in the world.
Girl,
I
text
love you so
me.
much. Oh my god.
Text me. I need that affirmation.
I'd be like, you know what I really, really
If you
like
really
about
want
you,
it,
and
I
then
will-
just like list it all.
Bro,
Like same.
I have to hold it in. Like even on the way here, I wanted to say something really sweet. No, you know what I did the other night? So we made a blowjob video, and I missed him, and so he sent it to me, and so I detached the audio from it so that I could just listen because he talks a lot during it. So
He talks a lot.
I
I had
detached.
to mute his words.
I detached the audio. No, so I could listen to only his voice because I didn't want it to be sexual. I didn't want to watch the video when I fell asleep the other night because he's not here with me.
Wow, that's an adult bedtime story right there. And we are going to write an audiobook for our next segment.
No, I'm the same. It's like I'm such a lover girl, and like I just want to be loved the way that I love, which is that's how you are too. Like we love 100%, and it's rare these days, especially to find a man that is like that. So
I didn't think it was
kudos.
possible. That's why I didn't let men take me out on dates for almost 2 years. Didn't hook up with anyone. I just was okay, that's not how guys are, so I don't want to.
Yeah, yeah.
And then but anyways, we talked a little bit of shit on my ex, but I actually place that he did benefit me, guys, was the new man that I'm seeing said that I give the best blowjob he's ever had. And some would say attribute it to the fact that I did porn, but that's not it. Okay, so
That is wrong.
it's because of this tip that my ex a suggestion that my ex gave me. Okay, so when I did porn, everything's visually, right? So it's just about going hard and deep.
What looks good.
What looks good on camera, but it's not actually what feels good. And then the way that you actually make a guy come from head, their favorite is the twisting and sucking like that. Trying not to be too graphic.
All right, guys, it's all practice.
So, my ex told me, and this was the best blowjob tip I've ever gotten. Start out with the visually
I'm wait,
pleasing.
hold on, let me write this down.
Yeah,
there-
good thing
is
we're
there a
recording.
pen?
We're recording it.
Oh
Thank
yeah,
God.
that's right. Give me a clip of this.
Start out with the visually pleasing stuff, the deep throating, the licking, blah blah blah, whatever looks good. Give them a show at first, and then when you're ready for them to come and you switch into this one, keep the same rhythm with this one. You want it to be very steady, and don't go back to the visual stuff. Because what I would do before I knew this is I would be doing this.
Well, damn,
and
I'm just going over. I'm
and
going
then-
overtime above and beyond because I'm doing this from the get go.
I don't even do anything at all. I don't know when the last time I did this.
This is just passenger
But you
princess.
you don't want to mess up the rhythm by switching back and forth between the two, and you want to keep a very steady rhythm towards the end. And
So it's like a tease, right? It's like what is it? Tantric sex, where what you're kind of pleasuring, but you're teasing the guy to build up the
no, they
orgasm.
don't. Well, at the
Right?
beginning, but then you
Yeah.
don't want to go back to that when you're already about to get them off, because it can imagine
They're about to, then
you
you
have your
stop.
vibrator, then they stop, take it away because this one
That's
feels
a form
better
of
than
torture.
the other one.
Yeah, but it's it's torture, but it would still feel good.
I mean, some people wait. You
Right.
said you like edging, right?
What's edging?
Oh, it
That's
wasn't
what that
you.
is, where you get to
She
you
goes, "It
get
wasn't
really
me."
close and then you pull away.
Oh no,
Yeah.
That's what edging is.
Or you like edging?
No.
Well, you said that.
She goes, God no.
God,
Someone on our
let's get this
podcast
shit
said
done.
this before.
Oh man,
Yeah.
nothing's worse than when your vibrator dies.
That's how I am too. And then recently, I never really knew how to ride dick either. And we talked about this before, but I think the key to it, and it sounds so corny, is literally just being so confident and then also doing it for yourself. And taking your time. It's so hot if you take your time.
Yeah.
I thought you just get on and bounce super fast and hard. No, go super slow up and down, feel every inch. Take your time, look them dead in the eyes.
That's kind of the same where nobody likes a jackrabbit. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same vibe.
Seriously.
Men, nobody likes a jackrabbit.
God.
Cut that shit out. Leave it in the past. That's giving me the same vibe of what you just said.
Yeah, take your fucking time and own it.
Put your all into it.
Okay, so Olivia already knows this, but I don't think me and Alexa have had a conversation about this. So this question's for me. We're doing fan questions right now. How did you learn about your autism diagnosis, and what are your thoughts about it? So I was diagnosed with autism last year, and now that I look back, so basically how did I come to the conclusion and then go and get an autism diagnosis. When I was a kid, there are like a bunch of little things that should have been, that are like classic signs of autism. Besides that, I always kind of felt like I was observing other people to learn how to interact with them, and that's the way that I felt like all the time younger. But now as an adult, because I've already had so many interactions and absorbed them, I no longer feel that way, and I generally don't feel like I struggle in social situations anymore. Maybe sometimes, or I definitely struggle to regulate my emotions in certain situations. But as a kid, because a lot of the questions in the evaluation go back to that, there were like really obvious little things that I thought were just like quirky about my personality. Like as a kid, I didn't have a pain tolerance. Like I could fall and have like rocks stuck all over my legs and knees, and I would not cry. I wouldn't even notice till later, till I was hurt.
Damn.
I always used to, and you've probably heard me say this before, I used to say, no, I don't like movies or TV shows. I only like watching documentaries, and I can't read fiction books. That's like a very classic thing that was even on the test for autism.
I was going to say also like the eye contact. When I first met you, I noticed it was like you can't break eye contact. And
like so when you're autistic, usually it's like a very big spectrum. But a lot of people either can't make eye contact, or they will just stare you down because they don't realize
they don't know when to
look away.
Yeah, look away.
Yeah, like it doesn't feel uncomfortable for me to just be like.
Yeah, and then I'd be like this.
And then the other thing was food textures. Like, you guys know I can't eat sushi, I can't eat raw meat. There's been a lot of, I was actually vegan for so many years, and it was because of food textures. It wasn't because, like, I cared about the animals or anything. So, like, it was little things that I thought were just, like, quirky parts of my personality, and then I've obviously had struggles. And then last year it just got to the point where I was really like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You can't clean your house, you can't shower, you don't brush your teeth like a normal person, you can't do normal tasks. And that honestly was really devastating for me, and I was like, what is wrong with you? Like I actually wanted to like not be here anymore over this, because I felt like those are such simple things that I should be able to do. And so a doctor suggested getting an autism evaluation, and I got it, and I scored very high on it as a very high masking autistic person. And through that, a lot of people who follow my Tumblr and stuff know that I was very, very depressed last year, and I wanted to kill myself. And after getting the diagnosis, it kind of gave me permission to be like, you need to accommodate yourself more, and you need to give yourself time to work through these things. If you need to put sticky notes up in your house telling you to brush your teeth or do this in that order, then do that. And I no longer feel the way that I felt last year. I'm probably in the best place that I've been in my life.
It's almost like a relief,
mentally.
because it's like now you know like what you were saying, how
like
you're not hurting yourself.
it always was like, what is wrong with you? Like, why can't you function normally? And now I understand why. I accept myself, and I do the things, I give myself the lenience to do the extra steps to be where I want to be.
I know a lot of people in my life are, but like people are scared to get the test, but I just think there's like a stigma.
I think it's really important to get it, because it really helped me so much mentally to understand myself and give myself acceptance.
But I also do, I don't know, maybe it is just because it's like my Explore page, but I also have noticed that I feel like autism is also like glorified right now too. Like I'm seeing a lot of people saying like, oh, I'm autistic, or like, I take you seriously, and I know what you've been through, so I'm not discrediting, and I know 100% that like, you do have like your problems, and
I mean,
I'm so happy
I like the memes though, because they're funny, and it makes it feel lighter.
But no, I'm just saying it more so like, I take it very seriously, and so I'm saying just in general, I don't like how autism is glorified, because it is a very serious condition, and like everything that you've explained that you've struggled through, it's actually something that I've also struggled through, and I can relate to, and it's a test that I've been terrified to take, but I've actually been told by many people that I am autistic. I just haven't wanted to take it, because I'm like, no way, like there's no way that I am, because I've always thought that the stigma that goes behind it is that, oh, you're like stupid, or like you're a weirdo or something, but then I'm also seeing that it's just so glorified now, and everyone's autistic, so now I'm just like, okay, well, then maybe everyone's autistic, so what's the point of me taking the test, And I wish that people wouldn't glorify it or take it a little more seriously and not make the jokes and the memes out there, because this is hard. Like, it makes me want to cry right now, but it's really hard to deal with that stuff. Everything you've experienced is what I experienced too. Very often, like, I was at a point in my life where I wasn't like brushing my teeth, taking care of myself. Like, my house is very messy. I just recently this year learned to clean properly every single day and take care of myself. But I was in the exact same state that you were at, you know, and that's why when you and I were friends, when I like worked for you and stuff, I sympathized with you and I felt everything that you were feeling, because it was like a reflection of me. You know, whether it was in the past or the present. And
you were an older version of me who had already experienced.
And I still was too, behind closed doors. I was still experiencing all of that you were, you know, at the time. So it was also like me projecting sometimes. But yeah, that it's just like that topic to me is just so sensitive, and mental health is very sensitive. So I take it seriously, and I just don't like how social media, you know, makes fun of it and like glorifies it, because.
But those people also could be actually autistic, and that's what makes them feel better and less alone, is because they're making other people smile and have that. Like, but you just never know.
I don't mind people self-diagnosing, although I did go and get a professional diagnosis. I saw something the other day that said, if you think you're autistic, then go ahead and accommodate yourself in the way, because if that's going to help you, then you should go ahead and do that.
So basically just stay delusional in 2024. That's the motto, baby. So my fan question is, this is so funny because it's from narcissistic.
Plot twist, Olivia's fake account DM'd it to herself.
No, I think it's a girl. She's really pretty.
Just kidding.
Okay, so she actually, this is for all three of us.
She's really pretty. Is this your other persona?
So this is for all of us, but she says, each of your proudest moments that have happened during the break. So Alexa.
Why don't I have to start?
Because you talk the least and I talk the most, so I don't want to get roasted on this.
Honestly, one of my proudest moments, I think, would be me moving to another country by myself, not knowing anyone, and getting completely out of my comfort zone. Like, I was forcing myself to, like, not dress like a dude every day like I do here, get off the couch, go out, I'm actually really shy, which people don't believe. Speak to people. I was going out to clubs. I was going to dinners. I was saying yes to everything. And if you know me in real life, I don't do that. I sit at home and I say no to everything. So I think my proudest moment was getting myself out of my comfort zone and like pushing myself to be a better version of me.
Yeah, and you feel like you've like discovered yourself, and
yeah, I feel like I came home and I'm just like a new, refreshed version, because I was actually like in a depressive state for years. Like, what am I doing with my life? And now I'm like, you know what? At any moment, like, things can change. Like, I'm now doing things to be like a better, happier person.
You?
Probably what we just talked about. I'm really proud of myself for doing that, and I'm proud of myself for working on the things that I worked on. It greatly improved my life. But I just want to say, with you guys, listening to you guys talk today, like, I see so much growth in both of you, and the way that you speak about things. Like, I'm really, really proud of you guys today.
Thanks. I'm speaking a bit more than normal, huh?
I feel like you have a bigger accomplishment too, because I've seen you do some.
You guys are just like, the way you guys are verbalizing things is so mature, and like, I love listening to you guys talk.
Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah.
Well, maybe season 4.
Just kidding.
What about you?
I guess I've just been proud of how I've been able to handle things and still staying positive. Like, when, you know, all my stuff was stolen, I actually had a lot of people, like, I was literally suicidal. Like, you guys didn't know this, but I was like about to kill myself. My mom had to literally fly in town the next day. Like, that's never happened before. And to be there for me, my roommates had to come home and stop and drop whatever they were doing, because they were like, oh my God, she's gonna literally fucking kill herself right now. Yeah. But yeah, I did not let that affect me for more than like a day or two, and I got, you know, a great job, and I continued working and shooting, and
got back up.
Yeah, I got back up, and I remember someone saying like, oh my God, like, babe, what, you had that happen to you? How are you here at work? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, life goes on. Like, you can't just stay, you know, negative and live in that depression. But that just stuck with me. So she was just like, I just can't believe how strong you are. Like, after what just happened to you, you're literally here at work, like, so positive, as if nothing happened. And I was like, damn, I mean, I guess you're right. I guess that is like pretty crazy. But yeah, I think just that, and like accomplishing the things I've wanted to do, which was like be a creative director. I've gone to work for some amazing brands, you know, as a content creator and creative director. So that's just been kind of like an honor for me. So
I'm proud of you guys, both of you guys.
I know, me too. I was just gonna also say the same thing that you said. Like, you guys just like talk so differently now, like in a, you know, more mature and like
pushing 30.
Yes,
this is what 30 looks
pushing
like.
30, baby, pushing P. But yeah, I'm really proud of you guys. So.
Thanks. I'm proud of you guys too. We're so sappy right now.
I know.
Alexa, your question?
So my question is how... Okay, anyway.
What happened?
How to weed out guys who are not serious and just want sex.
Ooh, you're like, this is your perfect question.
Well, that's called just don't have sex. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, that was a big struggle for me my whole life. Honestly, growing up, like men have always just looked at me and wanted to sexualize me, even before social media and anything. So that was something I struggled with, and I thought that I could never find someone that would not sexualize me. But what I have learned is, like we kind of touched on earlier, is go slow. Like, take it slow. Friends. Start as a friend. If a guy's texting you and he's, like, hinting at, like, little sexual things, or, like, even asking, like, what you're wearing, or, like, oh, what do you have on right now? Does he look cute? Or, like, oh, haha, just for fun, but, like, what's your sexual position? Like, anything sexual, or, like, I would love to have you over right now to cuddle with me.
I've been experiencing that this year.
Yeah, in the beginning, like, just try to weed that out. If a guy actually wants to get to know you and be with you, he's going to ask you on a date. He's going to ask you questions about your past, your family, things about you and what you like that have nothing to do about your looks or what you can do for them sexually. So, like, honestly, listening to, I think I listened to some girl on TikTok talk about this a while ago, but it helped me a lot. And I've started with just talking to people as friends, like friend zoning everyone, like, and it's helped so much to where if they make it past the few months of the friend zone, then you know that they actually really like you, to be fair. And listen to don't listen to words, like, look at the actions. That's what I've noticed. People will say things they don't mean, the love bombing, but look at how a man is treating you or woman, and what they're doing for you versus what they say that they're doing.
Also, you in those situations, because a lot of people might see those little signs of, like, him texting, what are you wearing right now? Or I really want to be cuddling you. You really have to love yourself and stand on business, and you have to be willing to let go of people at any point to stand on business, which is very much how I am these days. Like, if I got any of those messages from a guy, I would never take you seriously again. Like, if you want to you'd be friend zoned for life. Like, you better not touch me. We're not going on a date. I think it just really is, like, walking away when you see any little sign, and then also making sure, what I was saying earlier, that they're showing up for you, that they're doing the most, they're putting in maximum effort. And then, sometimes they can trick you by putting in maximum effort, but that's really what you want to be looking for. But if you are going to choose to sleep with them, you need to be doing it because you would be happy with sleeping with them regardless of whether it progressed into a relationship. Like the guy that I just broke my 1.5 years of celibacy for, like, yes, he was doing all the right things and everything was perfect, but I made sure in my head, when I do this, even if things do go south and they don't turn out, will I be happy that I had sex with this person and that it was a good experience?
Yeah.
And I made sure that that was the case before I did it, because I didn't want to feel like I was love bombed, or even though I made sure that everything was lined up perfectly before then. But you never know what someone's intentions are. You can do the best that you can, but you just need to make sure that it's something that you would be happy with regardless, and not take into account whether the guy wants to sleep with you really bad or not. Like, fuck them, who cares?
Yeah, like, also just make sure when you are around them that they're not being, like, overly pushy, overly touchy, or, like, hinting at things to where, like, getting up. You just never know.
And that's where you have to stand on business.
Yeah.
Be, like, honestly, guys will like you better the meaner you are to them, the more you tell them to fuck off. Like, they're always going to be there waiting for you. So if a guy's acting like that, tell him to fuck off and really leave him alone until he comes correct.
And here's the bigger red flag. If they get defensive about that and disrespect you by saying, things like, oh, like, how dare you, or, you've
been texting me for a month now. I thought you were going to put out.
Because that's what the narcissist did with me, is, like, he would say a lot of
guys
inappropriate
talk like
stuff.
that to you guys?
I mean, honestly, it'd be, like, random guys. Like, if I'm actually talking to a guy, no. I only talk to, like, respectful men, whatever. But I've had men come up at me in, like, a way of, like,
they would be blocked, and I wouldn't even think twice about it. Like, that makes them look
but it's like the second that you
disgusting and worthless to me.
The second you put your foot down, that I've noticed, like, with men that are not right for you, in my experience, is that they'll get very defensive about it, or be like, oh my God, it was just a joke, like, chill, why are you so sensitive? If a man is not going to respect that you're, like, having a boundary, or that you say, like, hey, I don't feel comfortable when you talk to me like this, whether it's a trigger of mine, or I just don't feel like it's respectful, and they will either respect that and be like, you know what, I'm so sorry, like, I was out of line, But if they get defensive, girl, run.
Yeah,
Bye.
if they don't get
Blocked.
defensive, this should always be the answer. Then don't talk to me anymore.
Yeah.
Just say that to them.
Yeah, be like, okay, bye. There's a door.
Yeah, I just say then don't talk to me anymore. I'm like,
Yeah.
You're like, peace out.
yeah. All right, guys. So thank you for watching our episode. We love you so much. Check out our sponsor, Outcast
Yeah.
Clothing.
I can't breathe, but it's like worth it.
We're gonna go shoot the ad right now. Scroll back to that link in bio for them, guys. Truly, this dress is really flattering. I'm about to shoot the ad and show you guys in a minute.
Yeah.
Do a little fashion show for you.
Okay,
Minus the titty
okay, we'll say
slit.
bye now.
Bye. Thank you for watching 3 Girls, 1 Kitchen. We hope to see you soon again in the future.